Gallbladder wall. The gallbladder wall, which is 3 centimeters, is what you need to remember. And honestly, this is a good measurement to remember as well, that the gallbladder shouldn't be any more than 7 to 10 centimeters, because think about it, you have a stone that obstructs the gallbladder neck, right? And it's obstructed. The bile is going to build up and swell, and it's going to go above 10 centimeters. And eventually, it will proliferate, it will burst. And like I was saying, it's filled with bile, a very strong acid, and it's very dangerous to the surrounding organs. It will start to eat away at the liver, at the intestines, at the pancreas. If the gallbladder, basically explodes, proliferates, it's very dangerous. That's why they go to surgically remove it as soon as possible, if there's anything wrong with it. So, 7 to 10 centimeters, you don't want it above 10 centimeters. Honestly, the 7's not important, because if you eat something, it will contract and become very small. You never really measure the gallbladder for being too small. You measure it for being too large. Okay. So, yes, less than 3 millimeters or 0.3 centimeters. Did I say centimeters? Oh, 3 centimeters in transverse. Interesting. So I guess the gallbladder in transverse, you can measure it that way. I've never seen it measured in transverse like that. But 3 is the magic number for the wall. Yep. You got that Mickey Mouse sign in your MLF. You got the fundus, which is the butt of the gallbladder. The butt is fun. And that's where you measure the wall. You got the body, the neck. The neck and the fundus are important parts. The neck is really the most important. You want to make sure you image that to make sure you don't have any stones. Remember that the cystic duct is the duct that comes right off the gallbladder, and it is a very pleasurable image when you can get that gallbladder and the cystic duct together. It's, yeah, you feel accomplished. You will have to know that the spiral valves are in the cystic duct as well. And yeah, this is good to look at. It'll help you with that one diagram I was talking about. Remember that at the neck here in that diagram I showed you is Hartmann's pouch. You will have to know that at the neck of the gallbladder is Hartmann's pouch. And then the cystic duct becomes the common bile duct, and then it will also branch into the liver, which it will call the hepatic duct, right, left. Common bile duct goes down into the pancreas at the level of the ampulla vater in the duct of Wirsong. So this essentially is the duct of Wirsong here. Okay. And then there's your little Mickey Mouse sign, where you got your common bile duct, your hepatic artery, and portal vein. Yes, and you will have to know the roundabout measurements of the CBD, which is really 4 to 6 millimeters. Oh, excuse me. Yep, you'll have to know that. There it is again, the hormone that releases the bile, cholecystokinin. And very important, bilirubin for the gallbladder. Very important value to remember. You will be tested on it. So that's the lab value. If you see anything wrong with the bilirubin, it's like directly gallbladder issue. Also can be a liver issue as well. Yep, and then you got your white blood cell, alkaline phosphate. Yeah, I think that's the main things there. It's a good one to look at. Oh yeah, your stop sign, hepatic artery, And you will see that on the test she'll use, what is the stop sign? her little sayings. And you'll have to remember, oh, that's the hepatic artery, which is right there, right here again. Man. I want to say I must remember that on the test. But don't let it scare you. It's actually relatively simple. Gallbladder. We have the common bile duct, which, as you know, turns into the hepatic duct, right, left. And then you have the artery, right artery, left artery, IVC, right hepatic vein, middle hepatic vein, left hepatic vein, which you studied. So it's actually just over wordy. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. All right, almost done here. So let's just quickly go over the biliary pathology. What I remember here, of course, a very important one. You will see this. I just think, oh, hello. I just think this is cool. The adenomyotosis, which I like to think of it as like little, the ceiling cave, the cave of a ceiling, or icicles. But I have seen this in clinic, actually, and it won't be that wondrous. I mean, I've never seen that, but you'll see like just little bitsies starting to form, and it is actually an extension of the gallbladder wall. So it's hyperplastic, which means overgrowth of the gallbladder wall. And it's almost like, oh, what is it called? I can't remember anymore. A polyp. Which kind of, in my opinion, a polyp is, well, it is like a little growth. So let's look at that one. But just know, adenomyotosis is your little icicles, and it's overgrowth of the wall. Let's see. Polyp, where are you? Here we go. Here are the gallbladder polyps. So it is considered a benign tumor. And the thing about these versus stones, right, is they're not, you'll have to think of what stones are. It's basically like calcium buildup in bile that's like calcified on itself. And I think the science behind stones is they're actually cholesterol buildup. Like the cells of what a stone is actually little bits of cholesterol. But a polyp is something different entirely. It's actually attached to the gallbladder wall by a stem, and it's a little tumor. And the difference is, first off, the echogenicity, and then they're immobile. These polyps won't move, and they'll be like very circular and just not moving in the gallbladder when they go LLD. That's why we have them go LLD, is to see if those, whatever's in the gallbladder is moving. And honestly, like if you have something like this in the gallbladder, like right here, you want it to not move. Because if it moves, it can easily go into the neck and obstruct. So really, mobile stones, especially very tiny mobile stones, is very dangerous because that can easily go into the bile ducts and travel and cause what we'll eventually get to, the biliary issues. Alright. Cystadenoma. So this is an important one. Acute cholelithiasis is an infection. It's an infection. So remember, just break down these words. Cholecyst is gallbladder. So they term it basically as like this cyst. Iasis is inflammation. And you'll see it again and again in pathologies to come. Iasis is always inflammation. So, the most common cause of cholelithiasis, an infection, is actually stones and obstruction. Like nothing's moving, an infection just comes in because it's not being filtered through. In the neck of the gallbladder, Hartman's pouch. Oh, excuse me. And then clinical symptoms is positive Murphy's sign, nausea, vomiting, leukocytosis, elevated white blood cells, and then increased bilirubin, increased alkaline phosphate. And really, the only thing sometimes with acute cholecysthiasis, I can't even say it anymore, is that you'll be able to tell by the gallbladder wall measurement. The wall will become inflamed in the gallbladder. So, and that's here, the gallbladder wall greater than 3 millimeters. And it'll become descended, which means it kind of drops down in the abdomen. It can become enlarged overall, like above that 10 centimeters we were talking about. Anything with infection and inflammation, you'll have increased color Doppler flow. So we'll get, there's a really fancy word. Paravascular color Doppler kind of going around the outer skirts and the wall of the gallbladder, which is why you see that there. The vascularity. Okay. And then this one is easy to remember, in my opinion, because it's special and has to do with gas, which I think I was talking with Ellie with. Gosh, I still need to look up how to pronounce this stuff. But it's actually a complication of acute cholecysthiasis. I can't even. But remember, bacteria infection creates gas. And usually affects women and people who are diabetic. Remember that gangrenous cholecysthiasis? I can't! Wait, let's see if you can read it for me. I've lost. It's the end of the day. What can I say? So an infection that's not treated becomes gangrenous and becomes necrosis, becomes really junky and filled, like it's lost its anechoic structure. It blends in with the liver and it's very bad. And then you can get proliferation here, like you see that hyperechoic around the gallbladder you never want to see. So when you're looking at the gallbladder, you never want to see fluid around it, especially all around like this. That's obviously it perforated and it's no good. So emergency situation, have to go to the ER immediately. Kind of along the lines of like an aneurysm popping, like abdominal aneurysm, if you've learned that. It's right along that line. Gallbladder proliferation. Oh, there's a lot of it. I encourage you to study it all. Yes, it just keeps going. Just remember your numbers for the biliary ducts, for the ducts. That is important for that one. So it's always above 6 is dilated, and 10, above 10 is like considered, really dilated. So you don't want to see a biliary duct above 6. But if it's above 10, that's for certain there's an issue going on. And then this is one, the shotgun sign, where you see the common bile and the portal like that, kind of like a shotgun. It shows that it's really dilated for one, and that also shows that it's kind of the same as the same size as the portal, which you never want to see. Definitely sign that there's obstruction going on, because remember that brain fart. Anyways, moving on. I don't remember these necessarily. I do remember that this one, the patient in prostrate position from cholangitis, which is inflammation of the biliary ducts. It's pretty severe. They have jaundice and just severe pain like that. And high drops, the gallbladder kind of descends down and is droopy. You will have to know this. Gallbladder carcinoma. Oh, that's another one. So, Klatskin tumor is a tumor that, in my opinion, almost looks like a mass with spider legs, and that's how I remember it. So if you see this on the test, a mass like a circle and spider legs, it's Klatskin tumor. A very rare mass of the biliary ductal system. Alright, and just look over these. I think you'll be okay. It does seem like a lot. But you got this. You really got this. Whatever, most of it. You'll also see that on the test. Marazi syndrome. Obstruction. An obstruction particularly from the cystic duct. So that means that it traveled from being and the gallbladder neck into the cystic duct. And that's what we call Marazi syndrome. Here, so you'll have to know that for the test. Okay. Well, I hope this was helpful, and I wish you luck. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I would be happy to help. Alright, guys.